There are seasons in your life when everything seems to move. New projects, new people, new ideas. You feel carried by a kind of momentum. Even if you're tired, you can see the story. I'm going somewhere. And then there are other seasons. You wake up, you do what you have to do, you go to sleep, and nothing seems to change. No big news, no big progress, no big turning point you can point at and say, look, that's why it was worth it. These are the slow seasons, the in between chapters where you are not who you used to be, but not yet who you're becoming. Think of a field in winter. On the surface, it looks dead. No flowers, no harvest, no green. But beneath the frost, the soil is resting, rebalancing, gathering nutrients, preparing itself to grow again when the time is right. If you judge the land only by how it looks in one cold month, you might call it a failure. But you would be wrong. It is doing a different kind of work, the kind that cannot be rushed, the kind that doesn't look like work at all. Your life has winters too. In a slow season, your progress might be happening in places no one sees. You might be learning to set boundaries in small conversations. You might be healing from a relationship that changed your sense of safety and trust. You might be practicing new habits, rest, honesty, self respect, that don't show up as achievements but quietly change how you will live every future chapter. Trusting a slow season doesn't mean you stop wanting more. It doesn't mean you pretend you're completely content. It means you stop attacking yourself for not blooming like a season that isn't here right now. Of course, there is a difference between a slow season and a stuck pattern. Trusting slow seasons doesn't mean staying forever in situations that are clearly harmful or draining. Sometimes the most honest question is this slowness a natural pause or is it a signal that something important needs to shift? But even if change is needed, it will still take time to unfold, and that time will still feel slow. One way to live a little more gently with a slow season is to shrink your horizon. Instead of trying to answer, what is my life doing? Ask, what is today asking from me? Not forever, just this day. Maybe today asks for small consistency, sending one email, finishing one task, showing up where you said you would. Maybe it asks for recovery, sleeping, cooking something simple, calling a friend, letting your body catch up with your life. Maybe it asks for listening, journaling, walking, sitting quietly enough to hear the questions under your restlessness. You do not have to solve your whole future inside one grey afternoon. You can just meet this 24 hours as honestly as you can. That is also movement. Another gentle practice. Notice the skills you are quietly building right now, even if the world doesn't see them. Perhaps you are learning patience by caring for a sick family member, resilience by looking for work in a difficult time, humility by starting again from a place you thought you had outgrown, compassion by walking through your own heartbreak and understanding others a little more. These are not small things, they are deep muscles of the soul. You will carry them into every future job, relationship, and project. When the faster seasons come, they will lean on the strength you are building now. If you feel embarrassed by your slowness because everyone else seems to be sprinting, remember that you are not seeing their whole story. You see the launches, not the late nights. You see the highlights, not the private doubt. You see the announcements, not the quiet days they also had. Waiting, wondering, not knowing. No, life is fast all the time, and a life that never slows often breaks. Some of the wisest, most grounded people you will meet became that way not through endless action, but through seasons where they were forced to sit with themselves, to ask deeper questions, to rebuild slowly from the inside. If you are listening inside a long, unchanging chapter, where every day feels like a slightly blurred copy of the one before, I want to tell you this. You are not failing just because your life looks quiet. You are not wasting time by healing slower than you hoped, by learning painfully, by taking small steps instead of grand leaps. You are still allowed to dream. You are still allowed to move, but you are also allowed to breathe inside this pause, to trust that becoming is not always visible while it's happening. Thank you for sitting inside this episode with me. In the next episode, the weight of expectations. We walk into letting go of some expectations. Until then, may you stop measuring your worth only by visible motion, and may you slowly learn to trust that even here, in this quiet chapter, your life is still moving in ways you may only understand later.